I wouldn't even say we're going to capture 1% because that's a top-down thing. If we're going to grab 1%, I don't know if you've done the math as to how you're going to capture 1% and what 1% means and how you're going to build yourself up to get there. But those are the kind of numbers that, good investors will tear apart because it's not real, so to speak. And that's nothing against you. Those just, we're going to capture X% of the market. Just that it's never real. It's never right. If you want to do something like that, what I'd say is here's how we're going to build up our sales channels. And we anticipate if we execute on all of these things, that will look like something like 1% of the market. And then you had a revenue slide. Yeah, revenue model.
Yeah.
So what I like to do on revenue is I like to think of it like this. Here's my plan to take over the world. You should think of it that way. So I don't care about forgive me for being crass. I don't care about your MSRP right now. I don't care, revenue streams, that's good. And the future revenue streams, and then if you go to go to market strategy, it should be our plan to take over the world. And then you can talk through here, we're going to start with a direct to consumer product, and that's going to help get us into this. And then, all that stuff.
So I'm just curious because it looks like, yeah, okay. I'm just thinking about the roadmap that somebody's like, oh, you need milestones to go with the roadmap. So I did that, and then
yeah,
and then,
I know what you're gonna. I will tell you that you're gonna get a lot of conflicting advice here. But what I'd say is this isn't really, so a couple things. This isn't really revenue model. This is potential revenue streams.
okay.
The model is more we're going to start with e-commerce, and that's going to be, the foundation because we get 80% margins there. And then, once we drive a ton of revenue, we can go and we can pay for retail and things like that. And we can do blah, 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 blah. This is more all the potential revenue streams for us.
Right.
And then, yeah, with the go-to-market strategy, I would try to kind of, again, try to paint a picture of here's how we're going to take over the world. We're gonna hit this, yeah, and this is actually pretty good, actually, now that I read it again, right? And make sure you're,
well, then they had me do this one too.
yeah, I struggle with this slide because I would not put this slide in a 6-minute pitch. This would be in a 1-hour pitch where you're sitting down with people and they want to know your milestones. Here, what you could do is if your program wants that in there for those 3 milestones, I would say something like, look at how capital efficient we can be. For only $250,000, we can hit our first milestone, which is going to be these things, and we anticipate that could be X in revenue. And then, something like that, right? Show me what, all right, I know you developed an app and you've got branding and you've got MVP and you've got direct sales, but I don't have any sense of how big the business is. And then, for each of those milestones, what does that mean for an investor would be really interesting. At the bottom.
How do I get that?
What?
I said, I guess I just don't know how to get that to them.
What do you mean?
Meaning how you word that so that they can understand it and that I'm not full of crap.
It'd probably be something at the bottom here, equivalent to milestone 1 at the top. Underneath that little yellow square would be target revenue at this stage, X dollars. And then target revenue at this stage, Y dollars, and target revenue at this stage, Z dollars, something like that. Or target market penetration, target sales, something like that.